Welcome back to Marvelytics, where we talk all about the MCU. We're back with another breakdown for WandaVision Episode 2, where we'll be pointing out Easter eggs and drop some shocking fan theories. So if you missed our reaction to the first episode of the series, make sure you go back and check it out. Now, Episode 2 opens up with Wanda and Vision being woken up in the middle of the night by a bump outside their 1950s home. But they can't make out the source of the disturbance. First suspecting some rumored new, unsavory characters in Westview, which presumably refers to the forces of S.W.O.R.D. trying to break into Wanda's reality. They eventually came to the conclusion that it was most likely just a branch outside of their window. Nonetheless, they decided to continue to move forward with their relationship and their advancement in television history by moving their beds together and spicing up the night. In a classic animated intro for the duo, in which they showcase their super-powered suburban life, and we can spot teasers for Marvel's villains, the Grim Reaper, who comes from a Vision comic involving transferred consciousness, which might be a part of this show. Wanda and Vision are there shown preparing to participate in a talent show fundraiser for the local elementary school. Vision's stage name is Illusion, and Wanda's is Glamour. But glamour isn't just a magazine, it also means a magical disguise, just like Wanda has disguised her true powers from Westview and is hiding reality behind this entire illusion. However, the name Illusion for Vision could simply imply that he is only an illusion playing out in Wanda's mind. You also notice at one point on the cabinet there appears something identical to the Mind Stone, just like the one on Vision's forehead. This could be a reference to a mysterious cabinet which can actually make someone appear or disappear, as we further see in the episode. While rehearsing the magical act, Wanda genuinely expresses her desire to make this place home. She wants to embrace this altered reality instead of her real one, where she must face the loss of everyone she has ever cared about. After this lovely moment, Wanda hears the same bump from the night before, again accompanied by some whirring, and she steps outside to have a look. Getting to the noise she heard, Wanda discovers something that is truly out of place from the rest of the world in this black and white reality. There is a red and yellow toy helicopter in her rose bushes. Now, as we had referred to in the previous episode, every time we see something colored, we can start to question reality. And it's proved in this exact moment when we see the same sword symbol on the helicopter. We're wondering whether or not this is actually a toy helicopter, or if it was one that was made smaller either by magical means or by using PIM technology. Wanda looks to the window in her house as she picks up the helicopter. She and Vision heard a loud rumbling outside the night before. Were they hearing the chopper? Before Wanda could think too much, Agnes shows up and she gets distracted. Agnes, being the Agnes we know since the first episode, again makes some quirky comments that seem to address the audiences of this sitcom directly. Look, it's the star of the show. Is Agnes subtly joking about how Wanda's actually in her own fictional show? It's like she knows this is not reality and trying to hint that to Wanda. Anyways, going forward, Agnes takes Wanda to a women's meeting being held by Dottie, the leader of the women's group in Westview. There, Wanda comes into contact for the first time with a woman who calls herself Geraldine, but in fact her true name is Monica Rambeau, who is the grown-up daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend. She was the little girl who helped Captain Marvel choose the colors of her suit in the 1990s, but now in the present day, she's a grown adult who is likely an agent of S.W.O.R.D. From the outfits of all the women in the meeting, it seems that the women wearing all white are the ones who are truly integrated into the world, but Wanda, Agnes, and Monica are all wearing darker colors to show that they don't really fit into this reality. This could mean that Monica, much like the helicopter Wanda found, entered the reality and was assimilated within it. Vision, on the other hand, attempts to integrate himself into the local neighborhood watch group, but comes into trouble when his gears get clogged up by some gum that he was offered and accidentally swallowed, having the same effect on him like alcohol on humans. After the women's meeting, Wanda is forced to help Dottie clean up in order to get on her good side, and while pretending to enjoy Dottie's company, Dottie starts questioning Wanda about her identity. A sudden radio transmission began to come through the outside world, interrupting Dottie's interrogation and disturbing Wanda's fantasy world again. Now the agent on the line sounds like it's Agent Jimmy Woo, who originally appeared in Ant-Man and the Wasp as the person who ensured Ant-Man didn't violate parole. But now his work with superheroes seems to have evolved, as he appears to be an agent of S.W.O.R.D. who's trying to reach Wanda and help her undo her alternative reality. Whether or not this is Jimmy Woo or someone else, we'll get to know in the further episodes. From his way of speaking, it can be assumed that there could be someone manipulating her to forge this reality. Most likely, that person is either Agnes or the devil Mephisto, who was first mentioned when the woman's meeting was going on. The transmission stops as the radio explodes and Dottie's glass suddenly shatters, piercing her skin, and we see her red blood. Yet again, color in this black and white world. Dottie's accident was used as a distraction to fix the illusion, as afterwards the radio is suddenly fixed and playing music again. Very suspicious. As in the first episode, we again enter into the sitcom world and get to see a commercial break based on a Strucker watch. This refers to the Hydra leader Baron Wolfgang von Strucker, who used the Mind Stone to experiment on Wanda and her brother Pietro in Sokovia to activate their powers. Back at the talent show, Vision is in his delirious state due to the gum he swallowed, but with help from Wanda, the two manage to pull off the magic show. While Vision wanted to show off his real powers of flight, super strength, and his ability to phase through objects to the audiences, Wanda had to keep using her own magic to ensure that none of those showcases off his powers by trying to make the whole show look like a bunch of cheap tricks. By the way, note how Agnes sits with Mrs. Hart. Mr. Hart is nowhere to be seen anymore. Now the highlight of their magic show was when they had to make someone appear out of the cabinet. Wanda is forced to use her magic to teleport Monica into the cabinet, leaving the audience and Monica herself awestruck. Something very weird happens when they return home after winning the magic show. Vision and Wanda realize that Wanda is pregnant, which probably came about because of how close their beds were at the beginning of the episode. All this happens while discussing children through almost the entire episode. It appears to have driven her to desire to manifest Vision's children. In that precious moment, they again hear a loud sound similar to the one they heard the previous night. This time, as they step outside to check, they see a man in a beekeeper suit rising out of a manhole with the sword symbol on his back. As Wanda stares at him, she feels threatened by the fact that someone is invading her reality. She simply says, "No," and reverses time back to the precious moment of her pregnancy. At this point, it gets clear that she is in full control over this sitcom world. We know she is able to discard unwanted people and events disturbing her fake life. It is likely that the helicopter, Monica, and the radio all have been intervening in Wanda's world. Similarly, the beekeeper was an agent in something like a hazmat suit who was trying to invade this world. They either assimilate themselves into Wanda's world or they get shut out. Maybe we can look at this pocket reality as a kind of hive. Wanda is the queen bee commanding the drones, rejecting the beekeeper when he comes to reap the honey. Also notice how both episodes 1 and 2 end with a hexagonal honeycomb wipe, and this episode opens with 6 stars around the moon, forming the points of a hexagon. However you look at it, this is clearly a failed rescue attempt for Wanda. She is so delusional that she wants to stay trapped in this illusion instead of waking up from this dream and face reality. Still, it seems highly unlikely that the S.W.O.R.D. agents are going to stop trying to get in anytime soon. While soon after Wanda rewinds time, the entire reality turns to full color, entering the next sitcom era. Wanda is trying to hold on to a perfect life and family while also creating a place that will be able to withstand the stresses and invasions that are coming her way. With the kids on the way, her motherly instincts are active now. After an incredibly humorous and engaging ride, that was the second episode breakdown of WandaVision. Now that Wanda and Vision seem to have their iconic twin children on the way, their future in sitcom reality doesn't seem like it will continue for much longer, as Wanda is gradually realizing that someone is manipulating her into using her powers for their own purposes. Let's hope all this gets investigated as we go into the next episode, which will come out soon on Disney+. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button and share your thoughts about episode 2 in the comments down below. Also, make sure you share this with a Marvel fan and subscribe to Marvelytics for the latest and greatest Marvel content. Thanks for watching.